game breaking this, game breaking that. I've seen a lot of claims in my time that certain mechanics are game breaking, but what we have here with the new Royal Courts DLC might be the most game breaking we have yet. Today, I plan on showing you a very underground culture that is quite possibly the most overpowered culture for playing tall with Royal Court. I highly advise you guys try them out for yourselves after finishing this video, of course. As our goal is to play as tall as possible using the new Royal Court DLC, we are going to be playing as a little known culture down here in Africa, the Sao culture. You can see over here we have a lovely tiny little county that just has one tribal holding, and this is the perfect place for us to play. First thing you should notice is that this county is all in floodplains, and you can see right over here floodplains are really good because they are going to be giving us a 20% boost to our development growth. Of course, this is going to be important for any tall game because you're going to want to stack your development as high as possible to help you get as much gold as possible. So the whole reason I'm playing as these guys is because of the traditions that they have available to them. And the first, and what I think is one of the most overpowered ones for playing a tall game, is the agrarian cultural tradition. And this one over here gives you a penalty of 2 prowess for all of your characters, as well as a price increase for your military. But look at the benefits. Nice. So because we are in floodplains, you can see we are going to be getting a minus 20% on all of the cost of our buildings in floodplains, as well as a development boost of 30%. That is absolutely massive considering we are already getting 20% from the floodplains itself. From day one, we are going to be getting 50% bonus to our development. And if we actually go to our steward and switch them over to increased development, we will be gaining a lovely 1.4 per month already. So as we are starting out as a tribal realm, one really important thing for us is going to be to adopt feudal ways. You really have to be feudal to play tall because it's really through stacking the benefits of your buildings where you get to become super strong. So for us, as always, the thing that's going to take the absolute longest for us to do is to get 70% of all of these military and civic tribal innovations. One really cool thing that this Royal Court DLC offers us is that on this screen right here, you can see this button which we can press to diverge our culture. And what this will do is take our old culture and we can now choose a new ethos for that culture, as well as swap out any of these traditions at the cost of prestige. However, you'll notice we do not have that much prestige right now, so we won't be able to swap out any of our traditions, but that's okay because like I explained earlier, these traditions are all amazing for playing tall. So for now, the only thing we are going to do is actually switch over to the bureaucratic ethos. And the reason we want to switch over to this is because all of these benefits are going to help us a ton in playing tall. When we are researching a new innovation, we are going to get a 15% boost to this value right here. It also gives us another 15% to our development growth, which is again very important for our research because the higher your development, the higher your research speed essentially. And then the other thing is a 5% bonus to monthly lifestyle experience, no matter what type of lifestyle tree you decide to go down. However, you will notice this costs 500 prestige, so we have 450 right now. I think actually if we just go on a hunt, which should be pretty cheap.
Very nice.
Okay, so now we do have enough prestige to do it, so I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the bureaucratic ethos, and I'm actually also going to put our custom over here to equal, just so that we can have women as our commanders and champions. So there we go. This also, because we are diverging, means if we look at our culture now, you can see we have a 1 county culture. That means for our research speed, not only am I the culture head because I'm the only person from this culture, but let's say if I were to click on this, you'll see that this development right here is only for our 1 county in our capital. So if I stack all of our development growth bonuses, like being agrarian, like having it in floodplains, as well as having a good steward increasing the development here, we will be able to research things super quickly. we won't really be able to do much in terms of development and growth until we are feudal and we can build cities. So I'll leave you at that, and I'll come back when we are a bit closer to becoming feudal.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I know I said I would come at you guys when I was ready to adopt feudal ways, but we are actually pretty close to being able to do that. And the reason I really wanted to talk to you guys is to just show you how fast we were able to do all this research. It has only been 75 years since the start of the game, but we were able to research over 4 or 5 techs already, which I have to say is quite a good speed. We were able to just pump up the development in this one county, and you can see all these other counties I own are actually of the Sao culture still. They are not affecting this research modifier right here. You can see we're getting plus 0.28 as a research boost here, and that is because we just have one county with this culture. And I think the main reason the development is going up so quickly is because of our agrarian perk, which I talked about earlier. That's all I wanted to talk to you about for now, and I'll let this play a little bit longer just for 13 years for when we are ready to switch over to feudal.
6.5 hours later.
We just finished our research here, and now you'll see that if we go to adopt feudal ways, the only problem we have is that we are not an organized faith. So what I'm going to have to do is choose to convert to one of these organized religions around us, and we could convert to Catholicism, Orthodox, Ashari. So I think I will go with Asharism, and if anything we might reform it to get some better tenets, because I'm not a huge fan of these tenets for our game that we're going to be playing here. Let's go ahead and convert to Ashari Muslim. It only costs 300 piety, and we have a shit ton of piety. The other thing that is not the best here is I no longer can have women as my quarters. That's one thing I might also try to reform in my religion if I do a reform here. But one thing you will notice is this button right here, which means we can adopt clanways. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And now you'll see we have some beautiful temples, which I'm holding personally, and these beautiful castles here, and these cities, which are super important. Okay, so now that we have reformed our religion, damn, that was wrong. Okay, so now that we have gotten out of the tribal era, we should be able to make a lot more gold now. One other thing I think I will actually do is I will reform our Muslim religion here, just because we have almost enough piety to do it. If I were to pick up the prophet perk, which I should be able to get in three more perks. So I think we will be able to live long enough to get that done, and then I can reform our religion. There's nothing too important that I really need, but I think I'll do a couple things like switch our view on gender to equal, and then I might take out one of these tenants for another one, but I'll have to think about which is going to be the best. But of course, the other thing we're going to have to do is start spending some of this money. We have almost 2,000 gold saved up, so I'm going to be pumping a lot of money into our buildings. All of these buildings are coming nice and cheap. Okay, so I took this piece of land here, meaning we should be able to go over here and create this duchy. So we move up our rank, we get a new regiment also, and we are just 2 perks away from getting profit. Oh yeah, so I'm not sure if I actually mentioned this, but I did join a kingdom to my north earlier this game just so I could be their steward and get a huge amount of gold from that. But it's not really paying benefits for me right now because I am getting invaded by these guys to my right, and our liege is doing such a shitty job. I joined the war to help him, and he has just blown it. We won the first battle, getting our war score up to like 30%, and he should have white pieced right then, but he didn't. So now we're pretty much screwed, and I'm going to lose this piece of land. But I didn't really want to spend the almost 500 gold to feudalize this tribe. So I guess it's okay, we're going to lose it anyway, and I don't really give a crap. You'll see up here we do have an available perk, so we can take the profit perk. Once this war ends, we will be able to reform our faith. So I think I'm actually just going to press an independence faction on my king here, because he's getting war declared on him all over, and if I was independent, at least I would be able to surrender this land and end this war earlier. so we'd be able to reform our religion, because I am a bit worried we're gonna die. We are 76 years old. So yeah, I'll press my demands here.
Excellent.
It looks like he just accepted right off the bat, so that's pretty huge. I will go ahead and just surrender this war.
Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
I don't really care that we're gonna lose this title. Like I said before, I didn't get any benefits from it anyway. And now we are finally able to go over here, and we should be able to reform our faith after I do some finagling.
12 seconds later.
Okay, so I changed a lot up in this religion. I actually switched out all the tenets. We're going to pick up esotericism, meaning that we can get, meaning that when we put our kids on the learning education focus, which is pretty much what we're going to put them on every time, because we do want to be able to research super fast this game to grow tall. So with a learning education focus, we have the chance to gain the wise men trait, and it makes it a virtue for the religion. We also picked up literalism for the same reason, except if we get the second best or the best learning education trait, we will get another virtue. And then I picked up this one here just because it gives me a discount on construction time for temples and the buildings in them. And since we do have lay clergy, we will be holding our own temples, so getting that little bit of a discount towards the buildings to them will actually help us a good amount here. I did some quality of life changes, like putting divorce onto always allowed to get rid of my kids, and I just had a witchcraft event, so I put this to accepted because I think I'm about to become a witch. And I switched the clerical appointment to revocable, meaning we can switch our religious council member out just like any other council member in the game. So I think we are ready for our religion to be created here. It only costs 2,600, so we have a lot of extra piety to go around. So let's click this button, create our religion.
Here we go!
And boom! We are really set up here to have some great lives for us in the future if we can survive all this raiding and war that will be declared on us from these tribal neighbors. Okay, look at how crazy this is. We can build buildings in our temple holding for 70 gold. We are getting over 50% of a discount on our buildings in temples. This is so crazy to me. Look how cheap it is to build these things. 70 gold for farms and fields. That just blows my mind. Alright, so we passed away. You can see this lovely new death screen. And we are playing as our 50-something-year-old daughter. She has 37 learning already without a spouse. This is good for us because it means we will be researching things very quickly. Like if I clicked on a new tech that we haven't researched yet, it would take us only 11 years to get it. That is so fast considering we are still pretty early in this game. It's only been 100 years and we started out as tribal, and it looks to me like since we did die, we lost 3 counties here, but look at our troops. We still have an insane amount of troops. So as this character already has a lot of these perks over here in the scholar tree, I think what I'm going to do is first go to stewardship, just so I can pick up a couple of these perks in the architect tree to reduce the cost even further in building buildings in our land. And then I'll probably switch over back here to the scholarship focus to get that lovely plus 15% development increase. The other thing I'm going to do is actually revoke some land here from my siblings.
Yoink!
I probably will start a war with them, but I'm not too fussed about that because they are quite weak. I don't think I'll hold this land forever because I do want all this farmland up here, but we'll have to get a bit stronger before we can take it from this king. Awesome, so I just got a pop-up and I got my first item here. So you'll see that we now have a Diablo 2 inventory menu where we can have things like crowns, armor, and trinkets. So we just got a lovely trinket, and it's actually a masterwork, which I think is the second best. I think blue is better than green. I think the tiers go gray, green, blue. And this is a cool one because it actually gives us plus 5% stewardship lifestyle experience. So, and since we are actually going down the stewardship tree, we should see it right over here. We were unfortunately looted by these guys over here, so you know what that means. We'll remember who raided us, okay? I also think I should declare war on the kingdom to our north, which we just split up from. because like I said, I want all of these lovely floodplains here.
A few inches later.
Unfortunately, I might have to white peace this war. We are dominating them right now, but they called in an ally. What I might be able to do is get an alliance of my own here. So it really pains me to do this, but I think I'm going to have to white peace these guys. My allies just aren't coming into the war. So we'll do that and we'll kind of regain our strength here and try to take this another time. But at least we did get a lovely little artifact for that, so can't be too mad. So I want to start building some other baronies. If I were to construct one, I'm actually not able because the old culture that I was actually doesn't know city planning. It is my new culture which knows it, but my new culture is only in my capital county here. So I think it's about time we have to start promoting our culture. I'm still blown away of how cheap this is. To upgrade our farms and fields to tier 2, it only costs 94 gold. Look at this, we are getting a 58% gold decrease and it only takes 13 months. We're getting a 63% time decrease on building this building. That is so crazy to me. I do have more plans for reforming our culture down the line. There are some other amazing traditions here that can really help for growing tall. Mainly this Spartan one right here, as you can see, gives you another 20% discount on construction costs and time for all castle buildings and holdings. And then there is another one. This one here is pretty decent as well. You gain 25 development whenever you build a building, which is super cool. And there is expert artisans, which decrease the cost of all buildings by 10%. So you can really, if you group a bunch of these traditions, you can do some crazy stuff. We just actually advanced to the early medieval era, meaning we have access to all of these beautiful techs. Probably have to go for battlements here just so we can upgrade our castles, and look how quick, 13 years for battlements. That is absolutely mental. Let's take a look at this player. He's 42, but he does have novice physician, theologian tree, interesting, and genius. So he looks like quite a good character on his own. And we have a daughter who has intelligent and Amazonian. I think one thing I'm actually going to do here is reset our perks. There we go. So now we have Scholar, and look at that, another virtue for us. And out takes our learning up to 38. So over here I am revoking land from my sister, who got half my counties because of Confederate partition. And there we go, 100%. The good thing about not having many vassals, I don't have to worry about getting tyranny because I do not have any vassals, so nobody's really going to care. I only have this guy down here, but he seems friendly enough to me.
Okay.
The normal price for making a holy, I'm pretty sure, is 500 gold. To be able to do it for 208 just blows my mind. So even though we are no longer going to be building in the floodplains terrain type in this temple, it is in drylands instead. You can see we still get a bonus because our culture, not only do we have agrarian, which boosts floodplains, but we also have dryland dwellers, which increase the building cost and development growth in both drylands and desert, which I have to say is pretty cool. That's why these guys are a really interesting culture to play as, and I have a feeling like not many people know about them. In other news, the kingdom to our north is looking quite weak. We don't actually have any alliances right now, so I think it's a perfect time for us to jump in here and try to get this whole duchy. So while I declared war at these guys to our north, they were actually getting subjugated by these guys over here, and they actually have a stronger military than me even. So they did smack my army up just a little bit. You'll notice here that something that is really saving us is that we have access to onagers, while all of our tribal neighbors do not. So these guys right over here, they are only getting 0.8 siege progress per day, while we just started taking the capital here, and it will only take us 6 months, while they have been seizing this for quite a long time, and it will still take them 8 months. Just because you're tribal and you get all those beautiful tribal bonuses to battle modifiers, sometimes it helps to be the person with the higher technology. Okay, look at that. We literally just squeezed this capture outright for these guys. So we will enforce our demands, and it looks like these guys have decided to go to war with us for the same county. But I think we could be able to take them, especially if we call in some of our allies. Okay, so I've been a bit scared to engage these guys one-on-one, so I've kind of been running around from them taking land back after they take it. The fact that we have 30 onagers and they don't have any siege weapons at all means that pretty much we are always able to take back land faster than they are. And it looks like we caught them trying to take our capital, and this is perfect for us because we have these level 2 tower houses. That, as you can see, is going to give us a +2 to our defender advantage here, and it means we should decisively win this battle, but let's see what happens, of course.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
Oh, and it looks like they're coming back in here. Interesting. And so now we're going to get the defensive, defending against a river crossing, so we definitely should win now. Let's have a look. That is huge. And wait till their big army comes in. There they go, and they should go down pretty easily.
That's a lot of damage.
Okay, so we hit 100%, and to be able to make our kingdom, I think making the Sao kingdom will be the easiest one because we just need to have 2 duchies as well as 7 counties in here, and we already have one of the duchies, so we just need to take one more piece of land, and we should actually be able to make the kingdom right away. So this guy over here, this lady over here died, and this land split off from her, meaning that we have an easy pickings here for another county.
Ready, fight!
And even though they just bought mercenaries there, that's why you saw that number go up. They were not able to do it quick enough to stop me from killing them.
Gotcha, bitch. Yoink.
Going over here, we can create that duchy. If we look at the kingdom, all we need is 500 gold and we'll be able to create our kingdom. And the reason it is so important for us to get this kingdom online is that will actually give us access to our royal court, and I can finally show you guys the coolest part of this DLC. So we were getting into squeaky bum territory with our player getting quite old, and us almost not having enough gold to create the kingdom. We just hit 500. So we will be able to create our kingdom here, and that is important because on succession, you'll see once we create the kingdom, it'll get passed down to our heir, and then even though some of our counties might get passed down to our other kids, at least our kingdom will all be together under the rule of our player heir. And we finally get to take a look at the royal court. And look at this. Wow, it actually looks super nice. So I've played a few practice games, but not in Africa. I think the courts are region based, and there are 3 different tabs you have here for your court. You have your throne room, where people might come and ask you questions or make demands of you. You have the court grandeur tab, which shows you how grand your court is, kind of like the amenities of your court. And then you have the court artifacts. So you start with 2 banners, and I'm going to put these onto my wall here. Both our dynasty banner, looking very nice, and our house banner. And you can see they actually net us a little bit of prestige and renown per month, which are actually pretty cool. This one gives us a 1% discount on buildings costs, which I say is pretty cool. So you'll see down here that there's something called your court type. And this depends on what ethos you have for your culture. And since we have a bureaucratic ethos, we have the option of having a warlike court, which you can see the bonuses here, or a administrative court. And we want to keep the administrative court because you can see the level 1 effects that you get are actually a 10% discount on building costs and time, which will further stack really nicely with all of our tall bonuses. As for the amenities, I don't think any of them are really like too insanely overpowered. However, the one I do like myself is this exotic food court amenity. What I've been doing is going for just tier 5 on this one, and then leaving these all at 1 for now. And the reason I do this is because you can see it gives us a huge amount of, it gives us a small boost to our health, but also it means that feasts will reduce our stress by a lot. So I'm going to apply this. You'll see it costs us 0.8 gold per month. But now if we go over here and we were to host an exotic feast, you can see we would lose almost 60 stress from that. And then the other thing that you can now see is, as before we had some of these positions like court physician, antiquarian, and court tutor and all that stuff. Now we have a bunch of extra ones because we have a full court now. So we have access to all these extra jobs, and again, some of these aren't really amazing, but one of them that I really like is the Royal Architect, because you can see he can reduce your building construction time even further if you get a good architect.
You're hired.
So it looks like we finally died over here, and we will now be playing as our daughter, and she has some very nice looking stats. She has the Amazonian trait as well as intelligent. And the other thing is, you'll see we have had quite a split of land. We are now only holding 2 holdings personally, but I think we should be able to revoke some of these from our brothers and sisters. We will get tyranny from this, but as I do plan on killing all, or taking all the land away from my brothers and sisters, I don't really care about if we get too much tyranny. So I just finished the a war with my brothers and sisters. So now they should all be in my jail, and I can go over and revoke their titles.
Yoink!
Lovely. So now I get these 3 holdings back, which is going to be very helpful for me. So here we go. We have another new thing. So now that we have a court, people in our court can now be inspired, and what this means is that she has a metalsmith inspiration, and it'll say right here she wants to forge us a crown. I'm going to sponsor her. It's going to cost me gold, and you'll have the option through pop-ups as this progresses. As this progresses, you'll have the option to spend more money to get a better crown.
A few moments later.
So it looks like our quarter here finished making our crown. And you can see the benefits right here. A healthy amount of prestige. So I was going around upgrading some of my buildings, and look how cheap it is to upgrade this camelry building, which is in floodplains in the temple I am holding. We are actually getting a minus 69% modifier on our gold. You can see it would cost normally 225 gold, but we're doing it for just 69 gold. So I got the decision to make a holy order here, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do it, since we are a different religion than the rest of the entire map. And look at this, it already has 2 groups of these special heavy cavalry. They are doing ridiculous amounts of damage. We just unlocked manorialism, which now means we can choose a new research, and I think what I'm going to do is go for bailiffs to get an extra domain limit. And since we just got manorialism, you can see we can now upgrade our temple buildings, and this is absolutely ridiculous. So you can see the base cost normally would be 500 gold, right? To go up from tier 1 temple to a tier 2 temple. It will only cost us 170 and take 6 months to do. I've actually never seen anything like this. This is truly game breaking. We will also go ahead and upgrade our castle in our capital. You can see we're getting a pretty decent discount over here, but nothing compared to those temple holdings. So I've been saving up my money a little bit, and I think I'm ready to revoke this title from, I think it's my half-sister actually. So we're going to take away her title that has floodplains in them, and we can actually feudalize one of these tribes right now. The only thing that sucks about feudalizing tribal holdings is it costs 500 gold and there's no discounts for it. I've decided I'd rather hold this duchy to our north just because of these floodplains. So I'm going to create this duchy, but now we hold 3 duchies personally. So we're going to start getting negative effects from that. And that means that I'm going to have to grant away this one, but to grant away this one, I'm going to have to say goodbye to this lovely temple I actually put a lot of money into. Well, I guess I didn't put that much money because it is cheap to upgrade it, but I think it's okay because we can just go over here and create another temple once our culture gets fully converted here.
Boom, bam, bop.
Tough, but you gotta do it. And then once I build up a little bit more money, I'll be able to feudalize this tribal holding here. And then once I get 2 temples in there, that'll be 4 holdings plus another 4 here, and then 4 here. It will bring us to 8.
2 + 2 is 4. -1, that's 3. Quick maths.
So I think that way we'll be able to hold 4 counties, 8 holdings for the rest of the game. Also, this is pretty cool. We actually get a book artifact if we spend 75 gold, and these are fun because they actually go into our court. So you can see here we have 2 slots for books. So we can go put our book.
If those kids could read, they'd be very upset.
And this actually gives us 5% learning lifestyle experience. That's pretty good, and a little bit of prestige. Okay, so look at that. You see how they had like 1.3k and then all of a sudden they have more? It's because they hired mercenaries, which is really annoying, but you have to watch out for that because that can really screw you. But I think if I just raise a local army, I wanted to win this war only with my holy order, but you know, with my pretty strong army over here, we should be able to kill them.
Oh boy, here I go killing again.
Double kill. Triple kill. Overkill.
So that's that war done. As for our duchy buildings, I think what I'm going to go for are the royal reserves in both of our duchies because it actually gives you a development growth and a good amount of money. Alright, so this is really going to highlight what I'm talking about. Once our culture gets promoted here, now we get the extra minus 20% from our agrarian tradition in our culture. Is it crazy to do the royal reserves first over here? It might be, but I think I'll just do it. It's so cheap, like I don't see why I wouldn't. We are about to finish building our first royal reserves here in 16 days. Watch the gold. And there you go, it just skyrocketed from the plus 0.8. And the development should be getting boosted from royal forests, like you can see right here. Our capital is also gaining 0.7 and we're not increasing the development in it. Speaking of development, let's do a little development tour of the map. So right now you can see we have 23 in our capital and some of the neighboring ones are around 17. The rest of the African continent is not very developed. You can see a lovely little yellow spot from where we are. And then there's places like Rome, obviously 32 development, Constantinople 33. But I feel like we can totally pass everyone and become the most developed land in the game. Since we are now getting the 4th tier of farms and fields upgrades, you'll see that we are actually going to get a 5% bonus to our development growth from these buildings. So having the farms and fields everywhere I can is going to help us a lot with our development. Here's something that does not matter at all, but I love that they added it into the DLC. You can actually see where your court is ranked in the world, and you can see we are currently ranked number 8, but give us just a few more years and I think we will be number 1. So I know desert agriculture is not the most expensive building with only 100 gold, the base value, but look how cheap we can make it for 36 gold in 4 months. Watch how fast this is going to go by.
Yo, you wanna see some real speed, bitch?
I will keep picking up these hunting grounds to boost our cavalry damage and toughness. We actually were able to get a masterwork book, and you can see this book gives us 10% on our stewardship lifestyle experience. So that's another lifestyle route that I'm going to go down a lot in this game for the discounts on building stuff. So we actually are going to be gaining perks really fast too. Look at all these nice bonuses we're getting to it. So we finished upgrading our keep in our capital, and now you can see we have a lovely level 2 castle with these beautiful walls around it. I don't think the raiders are going to be able to get through this lovely 8 fort level we have here. Speaking of temple buildings, I will actually create one over here, and I will make sure to also do it in the floodplains. Okay, in our temple, look at these discounts. Oh my goodness. 46 gold for our farms and fields. Like, are you crazy? And since we now have our royal architect working, it only takes 3 months to build. Watch this. Just like that, brand spanking new farms and fields. What I will do in all these temples that are in floodplains is do a camel rebuilding for the extra knight. That seems pretty powerful to me. And for the last building in here, I'm thinking of doing either regimental grounds or orchards. I might do a mix, like I'll do one with a regimental grounds and the next one over here I'll do an orchard. And we are now picking up the architect perk, which will give us a further minus 10% gold construction cost for our buildings, as well as 15% for time. Oh my god. So I think this is as cheap as we're gonna get for our buildings. I have another idea for something we could do to actually make it a little bit cheaper, but for now I think this is just crazy. 31 gold to make a farms and fields in 3 months.
Oh, great heavens!
Okay, so we have a war here, and this, I have to say, I am not even mad about. I am excited for this war because we have quite a lot of men-at-arms, as you can see here.
Nope.
Oh, look at him running away already. He knows he doesn't want the smoke. I think we'll actually just be able to take his capital really quickly, because of course they don't have onagers because they're still tribal. Okay, I know I've been going on and on about how cheap it is to build stuff, but I just went to upgrade my camelry buildings in this northern county that I own. This is ridiculous, dude. 16 gold, man. The base is 150. The reason this went down is actually because we picked up cooperative stonemasons, which is like a pop-up event effect. And this just blows my mind how cheap this is. 16 gold to build a building? I'm just shook. I'm literally shook about that. Even, oh my god, even in our castle holding, it only costs 66 gold. Are you crazy? I'm gonna spam upgrades in all 4 of these counties, and we'll just see how fast we're able to do it. $24 gold for an upgraded farms and fields. What is this? How is this not broken? I almost can't even keep up with how fast we're able to upgrade these buildings. It is crazy, man. It is absolutely crazy. A tier 4 farms and fields for 78 gold? What has the world come to? I need to stay as this character for as long as possible. I'm picking up as many health boosts as I can. I'll actually also switch over to medicinal focus when I have the chance. Okay, 60 gold to upgrade my temple to tier 2 in 6 months. What is this? Over 100% discount in research speed, as well as 89% discount in gold. That's crazy, man. That is so crazy. Like, it does not make any sense how overpowered this combination of culture and religion is. It just simply does not make sense. A crown. Why is everybody trying to make me crowns? I don't want another crown. Oh, and this is actually perfect as well. I forgot that my character actually has a sadistic trait, meaning we can just murder our 2 other sons so that our daughter will inherit all of our land. We don't even have to worry about it splitting up and having to deal with that later. So I think I'm just going to start 2 murder schemes on both these sons. They have 95% chance to go through, because why would they expect me to try to murder them? And then that means we can actually use our last dynastic legacy to go down this tree right here, which we have been trying to do the entire game. These first 2 perks really aren't helping me that much, but what I really want is this one here, plus 20% development growth and 10% monthly lifestyle learning experience. Okay, dude, I'm not gonna make a fucking crown.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
So I picked up golden obligations, and look at how many hooks we can use to get money here. So now we're at 250 gold. Let's see how we can spend this. Let's upgrade our farms and fields for 100. Another farms and fields for 33. You know what, honestly, maybe a watchtowers might actually be good. Make the walls look pretty. So look how many knights we can have. 16. We're getting this boosted from all of these camel buildings that we have. You can see when we get them to tier 4. Okay, can I fucking click on it? Okay. You can see when we get these camel buildings to tier 3 and tier 4, they actually give us 2 knights. So considering we can make them in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of our holdings, that's going to be an increase of 12 knights for us, which I have to say is pretty good.
Pretty good.
Let's see if we can kill our other son. And it looks like we did. So when we killed one of our sons, his grandson actually took his place. So we could disinherit him for just 75 renown. But why would I do that when I can just murder them with almost 100% chance? So I moved our steward over here to increase the development on this line because it only has 15, so it's one of the weaker ones of our culture. Now that she's over there, look at how much we're getting per month.
Oh my god!
6.6 development per month. If we let this play out, you should see this increase very, very quickly. So that is super awesome. We again have even more money, so let's just continue to upgrade all of our buildings. You can see just from upgrading all this stuff, we have brought our gold income up to 21 per month and almost 9,000 troops. But I think before this character dies, we'll be able to get this above 10k. And our grandson is ready to be killed. Let's see if we can get it. And he did. Oh no. So what is this? Another grandson? Oh, do we have to kill all of these kids here? Yikes. So I was planning on doing this another life, but you'll notice we almost have 7,000 prestige. And this is important because if I were to reform our culture, I could actually pick up any one of these other traditions because you can see the highest price is 7,000. So the way these work are, there are 2 conditions that you can have to reduce the price from 7,000 all the way down to 2,000, which makes it a lot more manageable. And what I really want to get is this Spartan cultural tradition. And you can see the reason we want to get this is because it'll reduce our castle construction costs and time by a further 20%. So this artisan finished constructing a jewelry casket and it's actually nets at 0.4 piety per month, which is actually pretty decent. Let's go take a look in our court to see how it looks. And there we go. Also gives us plus 2 grander, so you know, we take that. We hit 7k, meaning we should now be able to reform our religion. This is definitely not the optimal way to do this, but let's establish our Spartan tradition. It's going to take 6 years, it looks like. Also, in terms of our succession, there's really nothing I can do from having this county or this duchy split off from us. I'd have to kill all 3 of these people still because they were all my grandchildren. So when I killed one of my sons, all of his grandchildren take his place as in line to inherit. I think I'll just let it pass, and then once I play as this character, I should pretty easily be able to revoke this land from her and then fight off my vassals. So until this character dies, I'm just going to spend all my money in these 2 counties because those are the ones that are going to get passed down to my player heir. But you will notice that we are up to 25 gold per month now and over 10k troops. Looking at our innovations, we just got enough to start moving into the high medieval era. This one has a hard level cap of 1050 AD, so we're only 15 years late, and considering we started as tribal, I have to say that is pretty good. So even over here in Drylands, we are still getting crazy discounts to our gold. You can see this would normally cost us 200, but we're getting it for 52 gold and only 2 months to upgrade. In this county, we have 3 empty slots, so one of them is going to have to be a city, but the other 2 I might go just for temples because they are just so cheap. So we have integrated the Spartan tradition into our culture, so we're going to get a lot less prestige per month. You get a minus 35% from this modifier. But what it does allow us to do is if we go over here to our buildings, you can see we get another 20% discount over here and 20% speed discount. So now it just takes 3 months in our castle holdings to build farms and fields upgrades. And you can see we're reducing the cost from 300 to just 117. Once I build this temple upgrade here, I've already fully upgraded these 2 temples and maxed out all their buildings, so it's a good thing we are going to be getting into the high medieval era soon, because that'll allow us to keep on rolling. When you're playing tall, you kind of have to find a balance of being able to build buildings cheap and quickly, while also being able to research really fast so you're not stuck waiting for your text to finish while you have all your buildings maxed out and nothing to do with your gold. I think we've done a really good job of this game of doing our research really fast, so we haven't had too much gold just piling up in our treasury. Man, this is absolutely mental. Here we're getting even bigger discount. In our capital county, you can see we are making a 67% gold discount on all of our buildings. And there it is. So now we will be playing as our daughter, who is actually 63 years old already. Okay, so over here, our niece, who inherited this duchy, which we really want, is pretty weak. She only has 1,600 troops. So we're going to run the revoke on her. Like I said, it will... Oh, it looks like she actually accepted. That is awesome. That's pretty good. I'm happy not to have to do a war for that. And this character actually already has the architect trait. So we're already going to be just making tons of savings on all these buildings. Like, look at this. 400 gold all the way down to 84. We also spent a little bit more money on our military. You can see we now have 2 stacks of armored horsemen and 3 stacks of armored footmen. So I'm not surprised nobody has even tried to declare war against me. Look at all these neighbors. They do not stand a chance. So as you'll see up here, we just advanced into the high medieval era. We can now choose to research some of these beautiful, shiny new technologies. And of course, the first one... Well, actually, I was going to say, of course, the first one we are going to go for is hoarding, so we could upgrade our castles to tier 2. But you know what I think is actually more important than upgrading our castles? I think it's to upgrade our temples, considering that they are such good value for us. So I will actually do windmills first, which will let us upgrade all of our economic buildings, which includes these temple holdings. It'll let us get tier 3 temples as well as tier 3 cities. And then after that, I'll do the battlements equivalent, which is hoardings. I also disinherited our first son because he honestly does not look great, doesn't have great stats, but our second son looks amazing. He has the genius physical trait with robust too, which I'm really happy about. He's actually a tier 3 wise man, which is the miracle worker trait, which is also a virtue. So he already has crazy learning, even though he went down we didn't change him off of the intrigue lifestyle focus. I'll try to just arrange him a quick and dirty marriage based on traits. Honestly, this 9-year-old could be a good play here. Wow. So because we picked up that Spartan tradition, you can see to upgrade our castle to tier 2, normally it would cost 550 gold, but we are getting it done for 187 gold only. We can upgrade our castle in just 9 months. I think normally it takes like 4 years. Also, since we are making just a shit ton of money now, almost 30 per month, I think it's about time we max out every single one of these court amenities. It will increase the cost by 3 gold per month, but you know, who gives a crap about that? We want to have the best court in the world. So I was trying to save my money just a little bit, but I think I'm going to spend it on this spear. I'm not sure if this one's going to be a good one. I hope it will. And it's great. Oh snap, we died. This is actually okay because our character was 63 when we took over, right? And we made sure that this guy got all of our land at least. So I think I have decided to just power hard and build temples in both these empty places that we have. I could have made more castles. It's actually a tough choice. So temples make you more money. You can see tier 2 temple makes me 0.9 gold per month, while a tier 2 castle only makes 0.7, but it does give you more levies. I'm going to go for temple here just because of the cheapness. You can see it is 52 gold cheaper. Also, I'm sorry my vassals are taking land here. It's making us look like we're not playing tall, but when you think about it, we really are only holding 4 counties. I would consider that tall. It's just the fact that we're getting multiple baronies from each county, and that's the definition of playing tall. I've also decided I'm just going to go to centralization and then switch over to learning because we don't really need architect. Like, we have so much money at this point. It's fun getting all those discounts to stack and just like look at how cheaply we can make buildings, but I don't think it's necessary at this point. I think it's more necessary to increase our research speed. Wonderful. Our temples are being built before our very eyes. Oh baby, our court is currently 3rd in the world. Who would have thought in the middle of Central Africa would become one of the most highly developed places in the world. So we maxed out these 2 temples. Now they're ready to be upgraded for the low price of 200 gold each. And we are only about 6 months away from getting the windmills. We can also upgrade our duchy buildings, which is good because that nets us a healthy amount, another 10% development growth. And look at this, we're actually at 10 grander. That's awesome. So this is the max court grander you can get, and you can see we get a plus 10% vassal tax contribution. Not really the best thing for us considering we barely have any vassals, but the thing I do care about is we are now #1, baby.
Yeah, baby!
You can see we now actually have 35 development. We've been increasing our development so fast lately. Okay, we just finished researching hoarding, so now we can upgrade our castles. So I'll go ahead and start doing that all over. Look how cheap it is. It's actually crazy, man. 700 gold it should cost us. 700. Now, since we only have 4 counties, we only have 4 castles. So it is pretty easy for us to do this. So you'll notice right here, we finished our castles. Look how beautiful it looks with the walls and the towers. What this allows us to do is upgrade the economic buildings in our castles now. Okay, honestly, now that we have done that, we upgraded to tier 3 castles, we have tier 3 temples. I think I'm gonna have to end the video here, guys. I already know this one is gonna take me so long to edit. My overall thoughts on this DLC, I really like it. Like, if we look at the cultures, you can see they added like, I added them up before. I think it's something like 96 traditions here. So that's 96 like new ways you can play the game. You can combine these in all types of ways like we did today. I found what I thought were the best traditions for building tall, and that's what led us to this culture right here with all these traditions. And it was a really slow burn to start, but I think what you saw with building some buildings for 16 gold, like that simply cannot be matched. That is absolutely broken. So don't forget, we have only 4 counties, and look at these stats up here. We have 71 gold per month. We're only making 7 from vassal taxes. We're making 80 from all of our counties. We have like 5,000 prestige, thousands of piety. Even our renown is really high. But the thing that blows my mind is this right here. 20,000 troops with just 4 counties, man. Like, absolutely crazy. And it's not like we have tons of vassals who are adding to that. I'm willing to say there is not another realm out here that can even think about going toe-to-toe with us right now. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Like I always say, this was a ton of fun to make, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. And other than